So welcome to the Sunday night talk, and just the live chat panel is working. Can someone just stick a word in there just to see? Can't see anything. Ah, there we go. Hi, Donnie. Okay, good. So events this Saturday. Hi, Paul. Hi, Keel. Hi, Anne. So this Saturday afternoon, I'm doing a webinar, a private webinar. It'll be for 3.5 hours. And if you're interested in that, you can just go to my website, and on events there's a way to do it, how to do it there. Basically, you just email me, you pay in PayPal, and then I send you the invite for the group chat thing, web chat. It'll be video, but it won't be recorded. So if you want to do that, that'd be great. There's only 4 places left. Yeah. Also in April, I'm going to be in London on the 14th and 15th. And yeah, I think that's it. Hi, Tracy. If you'd like to donate towards this talk, I just ask for £1 or £2 for the talk, just as a donation. It would be really great. And thank you for the 2 people that did donate towards it last week. I know it's a pain to donate. I know it takes time, but you know, a couple of quid would be really grateful here for that. What else? Oh yeah, Skype. If you want a Skype call, I do private sessions as well, and they are good. I think pretty good. Full on. Hi, Kurt. Hi, Tracy. Oh, thanks. Yeah, so the thing we think we're all looking for, the thing we think is freedom, for me, this elusive freedom, this elusive peace, the end of the path. It's like looking for something that's not this. You can't even find this, because looking is another thing that seems to happen in this. There's nothing outside of this. There's no peace outside of this. There's no peace within this. There's no freedom as another thing that's going to be gotten. There's no practice, any kind of practice will never get the person to this peace, to this freedom. And if anything, practice actually strengthens the sense of the seeker. It's just the me practicing to become not a me, which is, I'm sure you can see the irony in that. I've got something in my eye. Hi, Joe. This is totally boundless, edgeless. There's nothing here that is something. There's nothing here that can be anything for this dreamed up person that feels like it's really there. Anything that is looked for is a dream. You can't find it. There's nothing outside of this. There's nothing beyond this. There's no secrets hidden within this. If anything, this is an undoing. It's an undoing of this really strongly held energetic belief that I am here. That I am here. This is a really strong energetic belief. And it's a complete dream. And it dreams up finding and getting. It dreams up all its stories. It lives in a total dream of itself. And it is, of course, what is happening. But that happening is not really, it's not a person. There are no people. There's no person there in that body. There's just a dreamed up belief, an energetic contraction that has got stronger and stronger and stronger over time because the belief gets stronger and stronger and stronger. Especially, many of us who've been on spiritual searches, who've practiced being still and without thoughts and all these things that are just like, it's just a chase towards nothing. There's nothing at the end of it because there's nothing outside of what is. There's nothing outside of this. This is totally everything, everything. And even when the body dies, this whole dream, this whole, whatever this is, will just completely disappear. It was never real. This is neither real or unreal. It's nothing to speak of. There's nothing that can be touched in it. There's nothing, you can't put your finger on anything here. Hi, Richard. You cannot find what you're looking for because it exists as a concept. I will. It arises as a concept. This freedom you think you're looking for literally arises in this as a fantasy land. Hi, CDD. So whatever this imaginary person thinks it's doing, thinks it's looking, thinks it's going to find something, it lives in a total fantasy realm of its own, with really hardcore set of beliefs. The first belief is I am a person, but that belief is so strong it appears real. It becomes totally energetic in its appearance. What is left without that there is just this. It's exactly the same, but without the dream of being somebody. There is no flash of enlightenment that one gets. This is not a special place. This is a no place. This is absolute freedom, but it's not for anybody. Nobody gets it. There's no prize. And then it's really easy to see that that whole thing was a total dream happening. And life just appears that way for no reason, no purpose, no, what's the opposite of purpose? No, the opposite of purpose. No meaningless, no meaningful. Meaningful is the hope of the me. Purpose is the hope of the me. It lives in that. It's driven by it. It's driven towards this fantasy world it dreams is going to come to it. And if the fantasy world is in the appearance of material things, we all know that's not going to last, not long, before off it goes again, looking for the next thing that's going to make it feel better. Nothing will make the me feel better. Not for long. It's a crushing sense of this isn't right somehow. This isn't whole. This is a trap. I'm trapped in this body. No one's trapped in that body. It's so all completely dreamt up. But it's so complete in its dream that it feels so real. And nothing can undo that sense of reality, that sense of realness that it has. Nothing that the eye can do to undo that. There is no hope for it. There's nothing that anyone can give it. All these promises of enlightenment. Where is this enlightenment? It's certainly not in this room. It's like a dream of heaven, or a dream of an afterlife, a dream of enlightenment. All these things are the same stories and beliefs that are held by this me of coming towards something. Well, there's nothing to go towards here. There's nothing here. Everyone thinks they're in a story. Yeah, well, there's a sense of contracted self, which has been built up over time, stronger and stronger. It's the mothership of belief. The sense of self is the mothership of all beliefs. It is the beliefs. It is that whole reality. And none of it's real. It appears, but none of it's real. Because you can't find the stories that are being told by it. You can't find them. You can't find the story of enlightenment or the story of freedom. You can't even find the sense of self. It's like looking around in empty space. That's because it's not there. But that sense of self is very much a sense of discomfort. It's the discomfort that I am in this body and this whole world around me is just in my face all the time, doing stuff to me. Anyway, anyone has any questions, you can do so in the chat box. Hi, Josie. I also forgot to say on Wednesday nights, I do, we have a drop-in chat group. It's just audio, no video, for an hour on Wednesday nights, and that's on my Patreon page. And you have to subscribe to that. It's not much. Hey, Donnie. I struggle with taking life so seriously and still have feel anxiety, even though I know that ultimately it's an illusion. Yeah, because it can't see a way out of it. It really does think and feel that there's a way out of itself. So all the anxiety and taking everything seriously is within that dream realm. Yeah, then that something knows that it's illusory. There's something deep down in us that knows. It's not the person that knows, and it's not a constant knowing. It's not a state or anything. There's this inkling that there is something more, there's something that's whole, something that's wider, something that is absolute. Not that you can call this absolute, because it's totally not. It's totally not, and is. Or even understanding intellectually, they are just concepts, cannot cause them to drop. No. This can't be understood intellectually at all. There can be when it's spoken about, there can be this like acknowledgement of it. But because the sense of self is there and everything happens within that dream, those inklings, those intuitive understandings get sabotaged by the sense of self, because the sense of self is constantly grasping and wanting and trying to get constantly. So that kind of sense of yes, yes, I hear that, but it's sabotaged. But nothing can make that dream bubble pop. It just pops. It just pops. I saw it last night with a friend. We were talking and talking about this, I guess. I think she was talking about beliefs of future. And we spoke, and I flippantly added that, yeah, when the body dies, the whole dream's over anyway. The whole dream is over, finished. And in that moment, I could see the look on her face. It's just like, it was just like this complete, like, understanding that that set of beliefs that were there were nothing but a set of beliefs. And they just totally popped. And the whole sense of time just completely evaporated. Yes, the mind is a good saboteur. Yeah. Because the mind and the self and the whole thing going on is all totally interlinked. Totally interlinked. The sense of self has a lot of beliefs that it surrounds itself with, the main one being, I am here. Then after that, there is more layers and layers of beliefs. That's why I called it the mothership. The mother of all belief. And when it's not, there's nothing to believe in anymore. And nothing not to believe in anymore. That whole world just collapses. And it can collapse just like that, for no apparent reason. And we laughed and laughed and laughed and laughed. Because it is ironically ridiculous. When it's completely revealed, it seems almost ridiculous. And do you ever identify with the body? Could you explain how it is for you, as I still identify with the body? There's nothing to identify with anything. The whole sense of identity fell away in a big pile of smoke. The whole sense of identity is a built-up construct that isn't true. Oh, do you? Oh, do you ever? No. I thought you said, did you? Keel, nothing happens with a reason, I guess. Not even anxiety. It ain't caused by me. It's just anxiety. Yes, that can be true. That can be true. But also the sense of self is a sense of often anxiety. It's a suffering state for the human to be in. It's a suffering state. Nobody's doing the me. No one's doing the anxiety of the me. No one's doing the story of the me. It's just happening. But it's also not true. Well, it's true that it appears, but it's not true what it thinks it is. CDD, that's a good word. Good use of the word sabotage. Apparently my sense of self continually sabotages, which carries on my negative programming. Yeah, well, you know, the sense of self is very highly guarded. And it, you know, it sabotages itself as a way of, no, it's hard to remember. It's like it likes to get a sense of life somehow, or a sense of itself. It always wants a sense of itself. Feels it's alive, so it wants a sense of aliveness. So negativity can be a way that it gets that. Keel. Oh. But for sure, Keel, anxiety can just be there as well. But it's a different kind of, it's more like it arises in the moment when something's kind of like upsetting the status quo of the human. But it doesn't stick. But it's a different sense of anxiety than the sense of the me perpetual motoring anxiety of itself in its story. The sense of self loves negativity, loves it. I meant that one. You only have to like turn on the television. Or one of those terrible programs. I mean, I don't have a TV with normal TV on it. It's got Netflix, but like the normal television, you know, you go into someone's house and they've got like the TV on while you're visiting. But anyway, they've got it on, and there's people sat, you know, on sofas, and they're all going on about bad stuff. People love it. They love it. Tracy, why do so few hear this message? I have no idea. Stopped watching TV in 2004. Yeah, I threw my TV out when my daughter was 1. She's now 23. I do have Netflix. It's not the same. It's not the same as just having a TV on, is it? You know, and news and chat shows and all that horrible stuff. Why does so few hear this message? I have no idea. I could think about it, but brain doesn't want to go there. No. There's no reason for it. Yeah, I watch movies as well, for sure. I love a good movie. But it's not the same. It's not the same as having the TV on. heal. Anxiety seems caused by me, but there is no cause and effect. No, not really. It's just the way it happens. You know, rain falls downwards. Sun rises in the east. Sense of self causes anxiety. There's no cause. It's just absolutely unfolding, but it unfolds in a certain way. You know, I can pretty much bet if I turn this coffee cup up, the water's going to fall out onto the floor. But it's not that there's a cause and effect. Because, hi Andrea, hi Raphael. Because a cause and effect is like something caused something else to happen. But this is a total unfolding of everything. It's happening so amazingly. It's not even in time. It's just the way it works. It works like that. There's no cause and effect as such because there's no time. There's just this ever unfolding this, the ever unfolding this. I can't find cause and effect. The body just does what the body does. Nothing is causing it to do anything. It's just doing what it does. It's absolutely free to do what it does. There used to be something here that thought that it was the body, that it's my body. Okay, in that terms, me is totally freedom too. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. But it's not freedom. Well, it is. It's not the experience of the sense of self. Not the experience of it. But it is freedom, because everything's freedom. Everything just is what it is. Can't get hold of it. Can't get hold of this boundless, timeless realm that this is. But this message can be heard. It can be heard. But there's nothing that can be done about that. You can't try and hear it or try and get something in it. There's nothing to get in the message itself. There's nothing to get, period. It's an ungetting. It's just an unbecoming, ungetting. So there's no reason for doing this talk. Not in the sense of giving somebody something so they can get there. There is no there to get to, but there's no reason for this. It's just what's happening. If the message is heard and this whole structure just falls away, then that is just what's happening. There is no reason for anything in that sense. CDD, the underlying listening or hearing somehow reveals how screwed up the sense of self really is. Yeah, it does, yeah. Yeah. It can be exposed, like, oh, not that anything can be done about that, but it can be exposed. Heal. So no benefits here. Me is perfection already, yeah. Yeah, but it's not true. It's already perfection, yeah, of course. Yeah. I find it amazing how this can appear as separate from itself. No, there's no benefits here. Nothing promised. Nothing given to the me to hope for, to hold on to. No practice, no teaching. Just an expression of freedom. That's it. And life is just flowing and happening, and people running around thinking they are controlling. It's such a joke. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Mad. But it's life appearing like that. It's amazing. Joe, just one big question mark. For the me, yeah. And when that question mark's gone, there's no need, there's no movement to question anything. It just so clearly is just this. Just this. And this isn't anything to speak of. It's literally sitting on a chair, drinking coffee, speaking, reading, light. That's it. The sense of self continues rolling in the negativity that it loves, I guess, until the bottom drops out. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, the bottom of it can just drop out. It's suddenly like, it's suddenly cognized that the whole sense of self, the beliefs, the whole thing is just not real. It's not that somebody dies or anything like that. It's just revealed that it's not true, that it is literally a figment, a very strong, energetic figment of the imagination that has become absolutely solid. But it's not. It's not solid. It just feels solid because it can just be revealed at any moment. There's nothing that can be done about that. Doesn't matter if you sit in meditation for 25 years. Probably make it worse, if anything. People sometimes ask me, what did you do to get there? Yeah, well, nobody got here because it's just sitting in a room happening. No one gets here. Yeah. CD said, hee, meditation for 25 years. Can you imagine? Oh my God. Can't need anything worse. Certainly doesn't float my boat. All those rules around it, not allowed to watch movies, not allowed to do this. You get trapped in this teaching, this whole construct of teachings and gurus and oh God. Donnie, yes, thank you. It feels here that I really need to let go of all my concepts and surrender to what is, but I feel like something seems to hold me back, like it's constriction or contraction. Well, the bad news is, Donnie, that the sense of self cannot surrender to itself because it's still in the dream. It's still in the dream. Surrender to what it feels like. Something seems to hold me back, like a constriction. Yeah, well, nothing is holding you back, Donnie, because there is no you. This sense of you, restriction, contraction, is all an illusory dream happening. So whatever it does within that dream, pulls back, surrenders, does this, or that, it all happens in that one dream. It's not good news, is it? Good news is it's not real. Richard, Nathan Gill said there is the impression of cause and effect, but actually there is no separation, so nothing can act upon anything else. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. There's an impression of time. You know, I can think about possibly what I did yesterday, but there's an impression of time, but there is no time. It didn't come from there to here. It was just this sort of unfolding this that seems to have an impression. It just appears like everything leads on from one thing to the other, but there isn't, because there's nothing actually here that is anything that affects anything else, because there is only just this, and this is totally just absolutely whole and always landing all at once without it even being a moment. You can't get hold of it. Oh, you're welcome, Tony. Hi, Rubs. Even this dream of self gives itself the impression that it's alive, which is a kind of it's like a dog chasing its own tail. Always gives, it just has the impression it's alive, that it seems real. So it's like, it's the impression of realness to it. But it's just a dream. This whole thing, in a sense, is a dream. The whole appearance has no more reality to it. It's not going anywhere. No outcome for it. Just life and its dramas unfolding miraculously. Just, it's nothing. It's nothing. Nothing to speak of. Keel, yeah, that's what I was getting at. Talking in me terms can make it more real. In me terms can make it more real. I'm not sure what you mean. I've lost the thread of where we were. Yeah, the dream of being separate. Yeah, it is a dream. I am a dream, dreaming I am separate. And it only happens in the human. I've never met another species with a sense of self-consciousness. Absolute emptiness looking out of those eyes. No sense of being in there. I mean, me causing bad feelings like anxiety, it's a story, I guess. Well, it's all within that dream of being somebody. Anxiety happens in that dream. I'm constricted, I'm suffering, I can't get my life right. They are all stories, yes, they are stories within the dream of me. That sense of me is the bad feeling. It is the anxiety, it is the bad feeling. See, I want to be a cat. And me too, says Anne. The anxiety is a feeling, me ain't anywhere. The sense of self lives in a state of anxiety. It's all within the one dream, the whole thing happening at once, the sense of anxiety, the sense of me, the sense of my life, all the stories around it, the whole thing. That whole thing, when that's no longer there, that sense of anxiety completely drops away. There'll still be moments of maybe a bit of nervousness, perhaps. Yeah, but the whole sense of anxiety and the whole sense of me, the whole thing is not anywhere. The whole thing. This is not anywhere. There's nothing anywhere. The whole thing is just happening in this. The me can't be separated out from what is happening, but it can be pointed out what it isn't. See, sense of me be gone. Yes, be gone. One way or another. One way or another it will go. Because it's not real. Ah, yeah. Yeah. It's like we separate out the me and the anxiety and the story and the this and the that. The whole dream totally lives. Oh, you guys. We have antics in chat box. Harmless antics. Oh. Oh. Yeah. The irony is that there was never a me. There was never a me. It was never real. And geez, does it feel real when it's there, but it's not. That whole reality of it just suddenly pops. Did you dream? More like a nightmare. For some, yeah. Yeah, I think by the time the person gets to non-duality, yeah. Because that seeker in like spiritual teachings can be kind of calmed, you know, by this promise of enlightenment, this promise of becoming the chosen one. you know, gives the hope. Me loves hope. Me loves hope. In the non-duality message, I don't mean the non-duality which gives people something to do. Don't know why they call it non-duality. But there's nothing here that is going to give any hope to that. So it's like, oh, it's kind of, I remember being with a guru. And the whole sense of the person is kind of, I was going to say groomed. That's not the right word, is it? It's kind of made to feel nice and feel loved and special. Absolute or fake. Because I tell you, if you say anything that disagrees with the whole policy of the group, you are no longer their beloved sister. You are enemy number one. But while you're in that, you're made to feel loved and part of something, and this whole, you feel like you're getting somewhere. You feel like you're getting somewhere in it. You have these little realizations. Oh, I'm getting there. And then the teacher or the master says, yes, you're getting there. You're getting there. That's right. That's right. And the whole thing is a total fantasy. You don't get anywhere. It's still in the dream of me going towards something and getting something. And me is like possession, maybe exorcism. Joe, if there's no me, what's left? What's left? Sitting on a chair, talking into a computer. Sitting at a computer, typing into a computer. Drinking tea, sitting on a chair. That's what's left. That's it. That's it. Terrible, isn't it? But it's an absolute boundless. It's just a total boundless mystery. Hey, Josie. I was wondering, does the mind has to be still and quiet for it to happen? I mean, can it happen in agitation? Absolutely. Absolutely. There's no qualifying factors for the total illusion of the sense of self to be completely revealed and seen for the absolute fake world that it is. There's nothing that needs to be put in place for that to happen. It either is revealed or it's not. You can have the stillest mind in the world and just carry on having a still mind. I don't know anybody who's got a still mind. The mind is a big factor in the human. And it's so creative. It creates language and all sorts of things. It's how we communicate. It's the most amazing thing. The thinking process is amazing. I don't understand why anybody would want to be rid of that. But all these spiritual teachings that say, to still the mind and to have all these practices, it's like it's still this seeking for something that isn't here. It's still awaiting for this fantasy next moment to arrive. This hope that I will get something. It could happen while you're lying at the side of the road with a heroin needle in your arm. There's no rules. There was Lisa wasn't seeking at the time when this started happening. Seeking had been given up years ago before that. I got so fed up with it. Fed up of the trying. CDD. Me probably is afraid that there would be nothing left for it, like clinging to an effing story. Yeah. Or there isn't anything left for it, because it isn't real. It feels it's real and there's something for me all the time. This is how it is. There's something for me. But this me is not real. It's a dreamt up apparent reality. So no, there isn't anything left for it because there is no it as a real thing. Ella, it's all as it happens and it doesn't mean anything, guru or not guru, life goes on. Yeah, but in that, you know, having experienced a guru and what that trap that is, you know, this is life going on saying that. You know, this is life saying that. Doesn't really matter in the end. There's a guru or not a guru, but this idea of guru is an absolute trap. A trap that there's a special person there and he or she has something special that I need to get to. And if I love them enough and if I do this and do that, they'll eventually give me this magic secret. So this is pointed out because this fantasy is as false as the fantasy that I am going to become enlightened. Oh my God. Yeah. This is totally free. There's no circumstances for freedom to be revealed. It's not even freedom that's revealed. What's revealed is the fake fantasy of me, and that falls away. And what always is, what was already here, is revealed. And the whole illusion of time and space and becoming completely evaporates. Ella, but the fantasy doesn't last. The fantasy doesn't last. It lasts until it stops lasting. What can I say? Either it falls away while the body is still alive, or it falls away when the body dies. One way or the other. It's not going to last. Paul, so when the seeking stopped for you, was there still a nagging feeling to seek, still lurking somewhere? Well, the seeking would stop, and then the sense of self would seem to appear again. And then there was that nagging feeling. And it wasn't looking for something, well, it was looking for something. It was looking for something that it had only minutes before. It thought that the freedom that was just happening was somehow could be got back by it. So it was seeking for it again. But that was just happening in the dream of a me looking for an experience. So it would come and go, yeah, until it stopped. CDD, thank you for articulating this message because it resonates easier, the hearing of it. Yeah, it does, yeah. Yeah, for sure. For sure, because something was kind of like, I remember something was happening here, this kind of me and being thing going on. And I'd go and see Tony. Everyone knows I'm a big fan of Tony. I'd go and see Tony. And he would speak it so clearly that it would just like, yeah. It was kind of, it was like it was undoing the belief, undoing this. It was like it was just revealing this fake energy. Joe, it's already happening. Richard, is the sense of presence part of the dream? Yes. Yes. It's me sensing the presence of me. Yeah. When that's gone, there is no presence. There's just this raw, wild, boundless nothing and everything. There's no presence in it, because presence would be something separate from the whole. And in the whole, there is nothing separate. There are the senses. I wouldn't say there's anything present in that. They're just so in free fall. So in free fall all the time. No one's doing the body. No one's doing these words. No one's doing the computer. No one's doing Richard. And the simplicity of life, just what is seen, and nothing more is needed, but me still seems to have a grip. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's the way it appears. Yeah, and it's unpleasant, isn't it? Ella, yet it is not separate. Well, there's nothing separate. There's nothing separate, but in this non-separateness, stuff can be pointed out. Either. Robs, how does it feel to use public transport and be forced to be close to people? Nothing. It depends where I am. Public transport in Spain is brilliant because you've got a tinted window coach with nice comfy seats. Public transport, on the other hand, in Brighton is grubby and dirty and noisy and smelly. So it depends. I don't have a problem with people. I'm a bit of a hermit, that's for sure. But I sometimes go down into the city because I enjoy being in a city occasionally. What does it feel? What does it feel like? It doesn't feel like anything. It's just what's happening. And that is totally in free fall. It's always changing all the time. This is always changing all the time. The thoughts are always changing. The feelings are always changing. The light is always changing. Everything's always changing. All simultaneously, all the time. Constantly coming and going, but not in time. Oh, thanks. We are on the final edit. We're on the proofread now. Done. It's written. It's been edited. Now we're on the proofread. And then it's the cover. And then it's trying to work out how to get the center margin. And then we're done. I'm hoping to have it out before I go to Malaysia. Yeah, thanks. I'm still not sure about a title, but I'm kind of nearly there with it. Yeah, it's going to be a lot bigger. It's like 300 pages or something. It's quite a big book. Yeah. It's amazing how much can be said about absolutely nothing. Power of Lisa. The powerlessness of Lisa. Yeah. I think that, you know, there can be too much concepts about what's been spoken here. You know, so when you hear me talk about gurus and this and that and kind of, you know, having a dig at them, it's not that there's anything separate in that. It's just what's happening. It's like saying, yeah, some guy was kicking a dog, but because nothing is separate, then I don't feel the need to go and say anything. That's conceptual. You know, it's conceptual to think that because I'm pointing out that practices and all that sort of stuff is, well, it's oneness, so it's okay, is not true. It is the whole. But also this is the whole saying, no, it's bullshit. You can't kind of divide things out as being whole and not whole. It's just what's happening. What's happening here is someone saying gurus are bullshit. There we go. Put myself out there, say it how it is. This is where it is here, so this is what's been spoken. And I don't understand how the me can be known to be unreal, but it doesn't go. Yeah, but I was saying that, Ella, because you're saying yet it's not separate, as if there's something there. I don't understand how the me can be known to be unreal, but it doesn't go. No, it's just because it's still there as that construct. It's still there. Knowing it's there doesn't make it go. Because the knowing of it is in it too. The whole thing is bound up in this fake reality. The whole thing is bound up. You can feel it there as yourself. I feel myself here. Call it yourself. I feel myself here. It feels real. I know that feels real. I know it's a self. I know it's not real. But it's not that kind of knowing. It's more like when the whole bubble just pops, then it's just like, oh yeah, it wasn't real. Okay, it's 25 to 10. Is any last questions? But before I go, yeah, so Wednesday nights, Discord. This Saturday afternoon, I'm doing a webinar, 3.5 hours webinar. If you're interested in that, you can go to my website and there's some instructions there. There are only 4 places left. It's going to be very small. It's nice when it's small, you know, we can get really, really into it. And pop, bubble, pop. Thanks, Tracy. So thanks, guys, for being here. And see some of you on Wednesday. And I'll be here again next week. Okay, lots of love. Bye.